Guys, welcome to ERL's round 7 on Saudi Arabia, Jeddah. So this time we will tackle this high-speed street circuit. Some drivers have said they really like it, others have said they really hate it. So as you can see, there is not this is not a place for balanced opinions. People either love it or hate it. I personally really like the track. So for Jeddah, this track guide will try to help you with the characteristics of the track. So to pull off a great lap around here, you have to be willing to take a lot of risk. So this will all depend on the amount of trust you have in this track. If you do not feel comfortable, either because you don't like the track or you simply do not perform comfortably around street circuits, then you have to take a bit of a conservative route and take advantage of the high-speed nature of the track, because sector 1 will be perhaps the sector where you can make a difference here. Sector 2 and sector 3, it's a matter of keeping it together and controlled. You will not make that much time on those sectors. So, with this in mind, please notice that if you botch your lap on the first sector, especially around Q, there is no point in investing on that lap. You might as well save your tire and save your energy and prepare another shot. Okay, let's begin. At the start of your flying lap, please notice that you should begin your lap closest to the right as you can, but in the end, to shape off some lap time, you will actually finish closest to the left as possible without invalidating. Okay, so approaching the first set of corners. Around here, I think it's possible to have two approaches. Either you fully attack on the first corner and you try to take it as aggressively as you can, or you focus on preparing the better exit possible on turn 2. And for me, this will determine how you take these corners. If you prefer a more aggressive attack, then I'd say do the first corner on third gear and the second on fourth. If it's the opposite, if you prefer to maximize your exit, then you also do the opposite on the gears. Approach turn 1 in fourth gear and the second in third gear, so you will have more power on the exit. The braking point will be around the 100-meter board. Very hard braking, really punching that brake so you can feel the car slow down, and as you gradually lift off the brake, you will guide your car into the apex of turn 1. As you can see, I have failed it a bit, and this will always condition your exit on for the turn 2. You might feel the need to give it a little tap on the throttle in order to balance the car. I felt that need. So if you feel the car somehow understeering, you might give that small tap to keep it to prepare for turn two. Okay, so around here, as soon as you feel the grip, you can for it, and here you will try to take it as close as you can to the left wall in order to gain some time. Right here. So try to keep as tight as you can, but without invalidating a little. There is, I think, around here. Sorry. Around here, there's actually enough space to invalidate your lap. I remember it happening once or twice. Okay, so here we approach one of those places where risk will determine your gains. If you can brake as late as possible around the 50-meter board and take the car as close as you can into the left wall in a very aggressive turn, you will gain a lot of time here. That's what I try to do. Sometimes on laps that did not record because in the end they were not the best lap, I actually sometimes gained about 1/10 in this corner only. So you actually have a lot of time to gain here, depending on the risk you are willing to take. If it goes wrong, the most possible consequence will be invalidating on the exit, or also because you will feel a bit distressed because of the botching of the corner. If you try to compensate into the next right turn, you might actually snap here. This is a stage where balance is key. This is also why you will notice the setup for the lap is not a low arrow setup. Although it may be tempting to go with a low arrow setup here, and if you can manage it, it's not a bad tactic, but around sector 1, balance will be severely compromised. Okay, around this point, with good aero settings, you should be able to return to the throttle, and you have to keep as tight as you can. The more you drift to the left, the more time you will lose. This next part, I didn't use the brakes here. So, like I said, my aero settings allowed me to do this part on an extended 6th gear and flat. I will only, after this left right, then there's another right. For that right, to gain a little more rotation, I will downshift just for a few moments and then upshift again to 6th to keep it stable on the exit. Okay, here is another place. This part of the track, this twist and turn, is also another place where you might invalidate. And also, I would like to pinpoint another risk. If you fail this one, if you exit too wide, you will mount this curb. And what happens if you mount this curb on the left, you won't be able to turn the car. So if that happens to you, if you mount the curb, you need to give up immediately on trying to flow around here as fast as possible, because you will either spin, invalidate, or even worse, you can actually crash, because you will not be able to turn the car. The car will be pointing forward with no chance to turn. Okay, around here, great corner. I enjoy this corner a lot, but this is also very difficult to accomplish. You will feel tempted to return earlier than you should, and if you do, you will spin. This one will be unforgiving. So, the best approach is to kind of divide this into two parts. So, the first part, you will aim to get as close as you can to the left curb, and after you reach that point where you are completely glued to the curb, you will focus on returning to the throttle. You can brake. If you are very good at trail braking, you can actually brake on the 50-meter board and then use trail braking to gently guide the car towards the left curb. If you are not very well endowed in the technique, then I would advise braking before the 50-meter board, so you take your car as controlled as possible into the turn. I did it in fourth gear, but I've also seen it in third for more rotation, but a little harder on the exit, or even in fifth, so you can play mid corner with the throttle. That too might work. It's just a matter of experimentation. Okay, so for the next one, this one is very hard. I messed up countless laps here. The trick here is to use your throttle to keep it going into the right path. So usually you may try to, as always, take the braking into the corner, but for here I would actually advise you to complete your braking before entering the corner, and the entire corner will be tackled with throttle input. Hope it makes sense. So you will brake at a little bit before the 50-meter board. I downshift from 7 to 5th. Then if all goes well, you will actually be able to exit doing the S turn already in flat throttle application and keeping it all together. There is a danger of understeering on the left turn. This is, as you can see, this is a very small left, then a right, then a left. On the left turn, there is a risk of understeering, and this will have you damage your wing into the wall. Okay, so for this part, it's a matter of trying to tackle the shortest path. And once again, it's the same philosophy as before. You you need to focus on having all your braking done before the corner, so it will be tackled with your throttle input, because the throttle input will push the car into the corner and will help you tackle this part. Downshift into sixth gear. The braking will be around the 100 meter board. Not a very harsh braking, just enough to slow the car and prepare for you to be able to exit on the throttle. Okay, so once again, this will be a matter of doing the shortest path possible. And final corner. Final corner will also be a place where you can mess up your lap, but if you have already been on a good run, there's no point, in my opinion, there's no point in risking it all here, especially because there's not that much to gain, but there's a lot to lose. Hard braking around the 100 meter board, trail braking to the apex, keep it on fourth gear, and as soon as you feel the grip coming back to you, focus on returning to the throttle and exiting already on full throttle. This one is one of those corners where if you want to get it perfectly done, and especially because it will launch into the start finish straight, you have to complete it already with the throttle down. Okay, like I mentioned, do not forget on your flying lap that in order to shape some time, you will need to come closer to the left as possible without invalidating. But this will ruin the next one. So, especially on Q, you have to manage this part. By going left, you will ruin the next lap. So, make it count. Okay, so that's it. 1:26.4. I've seen you guys putting excellent laps, much better than these. And I've also seen some of you doing your laps with realistic performance cars. It seems that you are not aware of the time trial bug. So those of you who have put your laps in realistic performance cars, you should be able to get better results with the equal performance. If you do not remember, the equal performance has to be selected within the menu. I will let the lap run fully before finishing the guide. Actually, it's better to do this way. Okay, as always, hope this helps you have a great one in Jeddah. Cheers!